Oh, yeah, I didn't see you there. I guess you guys probably want some news. Good morning, Canada. I am your host, Parmesan, and this is Niagara Due North, the second best place to get your Canadian political information. Earlier today, Pierre finally releases his fully costed platform.
We can choose change. We can choose hope. We can choose our future. Our platform at forachange.ca lays out this plan. It is a plan that will lower taxes and debt by getting rid of bureaucracy, consulting fees.
And believe it or not, folks, that was not the biggest news of the press conference, because Pierre dropped a massive bombshell from the Privy Council's office that reveals scathing capitals information on Mark Carney and the Liberals.
My words. It's Mark Carney's own government department. Just a week ago, we learned that one of the departments of the government, the Privy Council office, has made some very depressing predictions about the way the country is headed after a decade of Liberal rule. I'm going to quote directly from this Privy Council report. In 2040, upward mobility is almost unheard of in Canada, they predict. Hardly anyone believes they can build a better life for themselves or their children through their own efforts, and many worry about sliding down the social order. It forecasts more people may struggle to afford rent, bills, and groceries. Resulting stress could worsen mental health challenges. This would increase demand for social services. And then there's some specific forecasts that the current Liberal government is making about our future. In 2040, owning a home is not a realistic goal for many. Inequality between those who rent and those who own has become a key driver of social, economic, and political conflict. The report goes on to say that people may lose faith in the Canadian project altogether. It forecasts that many will leave the country to avoid this rising cost and declining opportunity. And they believe that it will lead to a mental health crisis. More people will emigrate to jurisdictions where they believe upward mobility and or higher standards of living are easier to obtain. Quote, if young workers leave Canada, it may become harder to pay for the systems that support a growing number of older people. It says things are so bad that, and this is a quote, I'm quoting from the government here. If I had said this myself, you would have thought it was outlandish, but this is the government's own predictions about how bad things are headed right now. People may start to hunt, fish, and forage on public lands and waterways because they can't afford groceries anymore. This isn't my prediction. This is where the country is headed if we continue down the Liberal track. It sounds incredible, something from the post-apocalyptic TV show like Fallout or The Last of Us, but this is the forecast from Prime Minister Carney's own government department, the Privy Council office.
You see, when I tell people that they are trying to enslave us, that is the kind of stuff that I mean. That is them trying to get rid of the yuck factor. Are you honestly prepared to forage for berries and mushrooms so Mark Carney can wine and dine in his ivory tower just for climate change? Just for men to piss in women's bathrooms? Just for pro-Hamas protests to ravage the streets of your neighborhoods? This is what Mark Carney had to say about Pierre's platform.
I'm from Radio-Canada. In his plan this morning, Mr. Poilievre is keeping daycare and dental care, but he proposes a much smaller deficit than yours. Don't you think that the Conservatives are going to please voters?
There are so many phantom numbers in that platform. But let's start with the approach. With respect to $10 a day childcare, with respect to dental care, farmer care, the approach is, if you already have it, you can keep it, but no one else can have it. So we have two types of Canadians. I thought a Canadian was a Canadian is a Canadian. In our country, that is the case. So you bet if you haven't had children and got them in, you get the point. Secondly, there's a phantom growth that comes from the sky in his platform that arrives and changes his numbers, even though he doesn't have a plan to fight against President Trump. He also has a tax cut, a bring-it-home tax cut that never comes home. It doesn't arrive until year 4 and 5, right when we see the need of Canadians. Our tax cut, compared to his plan, I'll give you one number, is 4 times larger this year. Is 4 times larger. These numbers are a joke. We aren't in a joke. We are in the worst crisis of our lives. It takes a serious government. It takes a serious plan. It takes a plan that delivers today. It takes a plan that delivers investment. It takes a plan that grows this economy, stands up to Trump, and moves forward with the brilliance of the workers here and across Quebec and across Canada.
Now, to talk about the polling information that we all love so dearly, thank you, Main Street Polling, for showing that the Conservatives are ahead. But folks, just to let you know, we need a 10-point lead. We can only go up so high. The Liberals need to start going down, folks. I honestly think that this will do it. Thank you, Main Street. They're now pumping out polls every single day, and it's bringing the aggregate, the 338 aggregate, down. All of these pollsters are going to lose all of their credibility. And folks, to end off today, you know, I like Steve Paikin. And I heard that he was hosting the debates, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because I haven't seen him for a long time. It's been a long time since I watched The Agenda. For those of you who don't know, it's an Ontario-based, just political talk show. A lot of people go on there that have written books. But he is one of my favorite commentators in politics. I wish he was more federal, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Steve Paikin is awesome no matter where he goes. He is the perfect South Park character. Like, he looks exactly like a South Park cutout of a Canadian character. In a good way. But as you can see, folks, right here, the agenda with Steve Paikin is no longer. And that's sad. I haven't seen it for a while, but he's a good guy. He takes his job very seriously. He's a great journalist / commentator. And he's been around for a very long time. And he'll still be around, folks, because he is doing a podcast now called On Paulie. I watched it. It's not that good. So that's probably not going to go very far either. But folks, did you like today's show? Did you get any information at all from it? This was Pierre's big platform day, and we need to celebrate because we are one step closer to getting that majority government. So comment down below, folks, what do you think of Pierre Poilievre's costed platform? What do you think of Pierre Poilievre's campaign, as there is only 6 days left to vote? And please, like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow.